Hello everyone, this is Claudia saying hello to you today from Health Foods by Claudia in Toledo, Ohio. I'm very excited to be sitting here with Sarill. He's one of the national educators from CV Science, wonderful company in the United States, bringing hemp-derived CBD to all of us, and we're going to learn a little bit about CBD and what it's doing and the benefits of it, because it's a tremendous product. So, hi Miles.
Hi Claudia.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you just gave a great training to the staff. I really appreciate it. And tonight he's going to give a class to our community, so we're very excited about it.
Excited about it too. And I think one of the things that's important to note with CBD, there's a lot of excitement about it. There's a lot of hype surrounding this ingredient, but there might actually be too much. I actually think that there are some people that are promising the world when it comes to CBD, and we need to sort of rewind for a moment and say, hold on, how is this actually working in the body? What is it doing? Is this just a placebo or not?
Yes.
And so here at Plus CBD Oil, CV Sciences, there actually is science to our name. We're actually performing some clinical studies to demonstrate that this may help people, but let's not overstate what that does for us.
And I respect that you guys are doing that, and of course for us quality is always important, whatever company we bring in, and we're very proud to have CV Science because you're doing some good research and you've got a good sense approach to it. So let's start with, I think it's fascinating that back in the 90s researchers have found that we have an uptaking system for cannabinoids. So can you talk about that for a little bit?
So all of us have an endocannabinoid system. So all of us make cannabinoid compounds in our body. So endo, short for endogenous, i.e. you make it. And that's opposite to phyto. So phyto from plants. Plant cannabinoids are your CBD or your THC in drug-type cannabis that causes euphoria and the munchies, etc.
Yes.
So those plant cannabinoids bind to or regulate these receptors in our brain, although it's not just in the brain, it's actually all over the body. We have the system all over the body.
Which is really amazing.
It binds to the same receptors that these compounds that we ourselves make, the endocannabinoids.
Yes.
So it was discovered in the 90s, and that's part of the reason why doctors aren't talking about the endocannabinoid system. We're still trying to figure out exactly what it is and what it does. Mm-hmm. But I love to quote Dr. Vincenzo Di Marzo. So he's an Italian scientist that spent much of his adult life figuring out the system. And in 1998, he wrote that it is our endocannabinoid system that conveys the signals in our body that have to do with relaxation, eating, sleeping, forgetting, protecting our brain cells, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like how we have neurotransmitters in our brain like serotonin.
Yes.
We have neurotransmitters like dopamine or GABA, that kind of thing, right?
Yes.
So we make cannabis neurotransmitters. They signal between the neurons in our nervous system, and that creates these signals associated with hunger and eating behavior. So let's say you're hungry. Your endocannabinoid system is actually coordinating the release of ghrelin, one of our hunger hormones. And then we consume THC cannabis, it gives us the munchies, it kind of overactivates that system.
Yes, yes.
Now the interesting thing here is that, well, not only will CBD from hemp not get you high, but CBD also might counterbalance some of that excess food-seeking behavior that THC causes. Mm-hmm. So we're very interested now at CBD as potentially an appetite suppressant. Mm-hmm. And that's being represented in our new clinical data as well.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just, so everybody understands, the difference between hemp-derived CBD and the THC concern that some people have.
Okay.
Can you speak
of course.
to that?
So as of December of 2018, the United States government passed a bipartisan bill, the Farm Bill. Rare feat in these days, right?
Yeah.
Everybody agreed upon, most people agreed upon, defining hemp as the plant cannabis sativa containing less than 0.3% THC by dry weight. So again, THC, that's the drug type component of cannabis that's responsible for the high.
Yes.
So therefore, if a plant contains less than 0.3% THC by dry weight, very low likelihood of having a psychotoxic effect from consuming that plant.
Yes.
Now, CBD is a distinct molecule from THC. So your hemp plant can have a lot more CBD in there, and that is sort of what you can use as your source for a CBD oil.
And that's why I think it's important to stick with companies that are making this product responsibly and properly. So you know that what it's saying on
Yes.
the label is really what you're getting in
Absolutely.
the product. That's very
Now, there are two considerations to this. The first is that the federal government defines what hemp is, but there are other botanical considerations too.
Yes.
It's not exactly just as simple as saying 0.3% THC and less. So what we are doing is growing Dutch agricultural food and fiber hemp. The seeds are European Union certified. It's exceptionally clean in terms of how it's grown.
Mm-hmm.
And when botanically you look at the plant, you know it's a hemp plant. It's not like a small bushy dispensary cannabis
Yes.
item.
Yes.
But also that with the finished product, all of our products have a QR code. You can scan it on your cell phone and it will bring you to a certificate of analysis where
Oh,
batch
very
to
cool.
batch you can see every analysis that we've done for every product we've made, so that you know exactly how much THC is in there, you know what heavy metals we've tested for, you know what pesticides we've tested for. You deserve to know what you're putting into your
Right,
body.
exactly.
Right? This is transparency with a big T.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool. So CV Science is doing something that I believe is unique within the industry when it comes to hemp-derived CBD. There's different extractions.
Yes.
So there's will you talk about that a little bit?
Sure.
There's the raw, the whole material.
Yes. So we have 3 different extraction processes represented by 3 different label colors: red, green, and gold. Raw, total plant complex, and slightly more distilled.
Mm-hmm.
So what you find is that depending on how you extract your plant, kind of hits your body, hits your cannabinoid receptors in a little bit of a different way.
Yes.
Each formula is going to be best suited for a different constitution. So people need to seek out what product is going to be best for their own bodies. Turns out that in a raw plant, all of the cannabinoids are stuck to acid. That prevents them from crossing into the brain. So you don't have CBD in a raw plant. You actually have CBD acid, CBDA.
Oh, okay.
Now, CBDA won't get into the brain, so if you're looking for an effect in terms of stress or sleep, might not be the product for you. But instead, that CBDA compound may regulate inflammatory factors in the body more strongly.
Okay.
So think inflammation associated with joints or with gut health.
Yes.
Skin health.
Skin, yes.
Yes, this is where I'm using our raw formula for. Kind of like how we would use a turmeric. That's sort of, I like this as a turmeric alternative.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it may be useful for.
Yeah.
Now, what we do is we take that raw formula, heat it up. The heating process converts all that CBDA into CBD, and now it can cross into the brain.
Oh, very interesting.
So that's our green formula.
Okay.
Our green formula is actually clinically studied. It's one of the most clinically studied hemp extracts on the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
We've been working extensively with Scott Shannon. He's an integrative psychiatrist that has been finding that there may be some effect of our green formula in supporting healthy stress response, maybe even anxiety and maybe sleep levels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Very good.
So this does show some potential for kind of balancing the brain, kind of helping people feel better this way. I live in Boston, so getting stuck in Boston traffic, this is what I like to use for kind of regulating that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we take that green formula, we up concentrate it into the gold. So gold is our highest potency of CBD.
Mm-hmm.
However, it is still a full spectrum extract, meaning that there's all these different nutrients beyond just CBD in there. Other phytocannabinoids, fatty acids, flavonoids. It really is quite robust in terms of the nutrition that you're getting in this product. The gold formula is what we love for people dealing with discomfort. In terms of regulating discomfort, maybe in the back, maybe in nerves, that type of thing.
Yes.
People that are looking for more profound effects associated with sleep, or just overall pleasure from life.
Yes.
We have stories of doctors using this formula to help protect the patient's brains. So I have a doctor, his name is Colonel Dr. Mike Lewis. You can look up some of his research. He actually helps people deal with traumatic brain injury. Now, of course, if one of your customers is looking for that support, they need to talk to their doctor. But just know that the effects of CBD extend to many different areas of wellness.
Yeah, very cool. And I'm grateful. We have a lot of docs in our community that are really embracing what CBD and the cannabinoids are doing in the human body, and they're sending people in, and I think it's great that they're offering that extended kind of tool to their customer or to their patients. So
That's super.
It's very cool to see.
And I really appreciate that your doctors are recognizing you as an establishment that can actually make the right type of recommendations.
Yes, we're very grateful for that. So, let's talk about, just in general, it's helping the body to reach a homeostatic place.
Right.
Because that's really important.
So let's define the term adaptogen, because not everyone might be familiar with
Yes.
this. So there are certain herbs that are, think ginseng, right? Or think rhodiola, eleuthero, ashwagandha, medicinal mushrooms, reishi mushroom, have a almost non-specific balancing effect. They build resilience. So if you take an ashwagandha capsule, you're probably not going to feel it right away.
Correct.
Some people do. Some people are very sensitive, but most people are going to have to go through the whole bottle in order to build up kind of a stress response resilience, and then kind of situations brush off the shoulder more easily.
Yes.
Okay? So that's kind of a supplement. You almost don't notice it while you're taking it. Some people might say, oh, I noticed how I was feeling when I stopped taking it.
Exactly.
Right?
That's
Now, CBD, a lot of people notice it right when they take it. But I think we run the risk of treating it like the latest iteration of Tylenol. And I would rather people take it as a food.
Yes, absolutely.
So as an adaptogenic food to help our bodies adapt to the environment around us, just as something every day. We're always being thrown out of balance. When we talk about adrenal health, right?
Yes.
When we talk about our brain stress health, cortisol, right?
Yeah.
Cortisol packing on the weight.
Yeah.
Well, why are we so stressed?
Yes.
We turn on the news, right? Processed food.
Yes.
Pollution.
Environmental
Roundup.
toxins, all of it.
Okay, so
yes.
all that stuff impacts our gut, impacts our immune system, impacts our adrenal glands, and causes this dysregulation, and then we just don't feel good.
Right. Right.
So CBD, alongside these other adaptogenic botanicals, might be a great way of just regulating that whole body response in the long term. And what I would really suggest is let's treat CBD as a food. Let's take it every day and just keep it in the body.
Yes. Yes.
Just to help us adapt to our everyday challenges.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because we have customers that they're taking it because they heard a friend say it was, it helped them.
Right.
And they might not feel it at first.
Right.
But it's when they stop taking it that they realize they felt better when they were using it.
And don't get me
on a
wrong,
daily basis.
there are some people that will take the product and feel it like that.
Absolutely.
Okay? But don't get discouraged
If you don't.
Right, exactly.
And let's talk about dose for a moment, because that's very important. You have to, everyone has an individual level for what they need to find a response.
So this is a little bit unusual. It's not like, you can't just take a pill of ibuprofen, or when you think you're taking just like your prescription or your over the counter, it's like, here's the dose and that's it, right? And that's not always true. There's of course individual variations, but it's more variable with any natural product.
Yes.
Right? With a probiotic, with a fish oil, with the CBD.
Yes.
And I've met some people that need to take 1 milligram. If they take more than that, it actually makes them feel not good.
Yes.
And I've met some people that take 100 milligrams of CBD. Now, those are kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I'd say most people on average are probably taking 5, 10, or 15 milligrams 2, maybe 3 times a day.
Yes.
Yes.
And you guys really stressed in us when we first started educating on this product that the importance of starting low and allowing an individual to work up slowly to find what they need. I think that's very, very important.
There's a couple of considerations here. First off, if you can find that a low dose works for you, you're not wasting your money on a higher dose, okay?
Right.
Invest that money in other types of good nutrition.
Good, clean food.
Totally, or just fish oil, probiotics, right?
Right.
And I really feel that with CBD, you're going to get more out of it if you're combining it with other types of supplements to balance your body. That's not just about CBD.
Right.
CBD unlocks the potential for some of these other nutrients to really help you.
And I love that. That's a cool way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, if our endocannabinoid system is our adaptive system,
Yes.
you know, it's like the immune system except for adaptation to stress.
Yes.
Let's make sure that that's well fed
Exactly.
so that it can continue to adapt. And there are
Yes.
other things that feed it. But
And
everybody needs a different dose. So I know for myself, I like around 15 milligrams.
Mm-hmm.
I actually met somebody that she took too much. It caused her pain to become worse. She took just 1 milligram. That was the dose that really helped her
Yes.
balance her pain response, because
Yes.
everybody's system is going to be different.
Everyone is
Yeah.
very different. And I think that, you know, that's the beauty of human applied nutrition.
Mhm.
We're all biochemically unique.
Right.
Nothing is set in stone. And that's something that's always been very important to us in working with our community, is that you have to find, with so many different plants or supplements, what is right for you as an individual.
Correct.
So when people are saying, take this amount, take this milligram amount, that's not really how natural products work. So I think it's a very...
You know, I think one thing that is important to say is that there are research doses for certain types of ingredients where you could say on average, a certain percentage of people did really well with that. So for example, at CV Sciences, we have some clinical evidence that suggests, okay, maybe if you do take 20, 25 milligrams, 80% of people do respond to that for stress. And so that does seem like a little bit of a higher dose than the 1 or 2 milligrams. You know, if you're suffering, you know, take more. We've actually done safety data also to demonstrate that, you know, if you accidentally do take too much, you're probably going to be fine, right? But you know, I just don't want you to take more than you have to take.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, we always guide people, start low, work up, no matter
Yes.
what it is.
Right.
Start low, tune in, listen to your body, honor how it is, what it's telling you.
Sure.
Work up slowly. I think that's very important.
I think at the end of the day, because sometimes people were not used to that kind of mode of thinking.
Right.
You know, because we think about just take one pill, call me in the morning, right?
Right.
That type of model.
Yeah.
That is also okay if that's the person, just to take that pill, just to get it into the system.
Yes.
And I would rather somebody remember to take it regardless of what dose it is. You know, just to
Right.
get that into the system, to feed the system, to help them adapt and help them feel fully functional.
Yes.
You know, I think that we hear a lot about CBD in terms of curing disease. It's not a cure for anything.
Right.
But let's talk about what is functional medicine? What is integrated medicine? Functional medicine, when we actually talk about botanicals and vitamins helping people,
Yes.
functional medicine is not about treating disease, but improving the function of your body's organs.
Yes. And this is very important.
Yes.
Because we're teaching people to nourish themselves, not to wait for the crisis
Right.
and do a synthetic that is only going to cover it up,
Right.
but to truly nourish and really address the underlying issues.
So if we think about what CBD does in the body, you can actually see here is how it's improving the optimal functioning
Yes.
of your organs. It's
Yes.
just promoting your well-being. And there's all this talk now about the role of our microbiome in our whole body health, what all that bacteria is doing in our gut
Yes.
to contribute to the brain, to the
Yes.
skin, the immune system. And there's new research that showed that CBD can actually help to shape the microbiome, which might be yet another way in terms of how it helps the
Yes,
whole body.
very cool.
Yeah.
And God knows in this culture we need help with the microbiome.
Again, with Roundup, right?
All of it. I mean, you know, our degraded American diet food supply,
Right.
and all of it. So,
Right.
so it's a beautiful product. It's a beautiful plant, and so grateful that there's so much research going on. Just one last thing, real quick, as far as any drug interactions that you guys have found.
Okay, so legally, because I am not a pharmacist, it is hard for me to talk about this, but
Okay.
here's what I can tell you.
Okay.
Is that there was one study looking at somebody taking around 3,000 milligrams
Oh my
of
goodness.
CBD,
Right.
and with their doctor's help, they did have to lower their blood thinner by about 30%.
Oh.
Now, the doctors that I'm talking to are saying that 5, 10, 15 milligrams of like supplement level CBD like you sell here
Right.
are pretty well tolerated.
Yes.
But you want to have these conversations with your healthcare provider.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So, Well, anything else we should touch on real quick?
There's
Or-
so much we could touch on, but you know, we just might have to save that for another conversation,
All
because
right.
otherwise I go for 3 hours, and right, you know,
Well-
that's the exciting thing about this ingredient, and what I love about stores like this is that you're on the cutting edge. You know, there's every day that we're finding out new things about CBD
Yes.
and how it can help people, and
Yeah.
I think that's just
It's a
so
beautiful
exciting.
thing, yes.
Yeah, totally.
And I have to say, on our side of the fence, as I always say, we witness people truly regain their health in a positive, safe, effective way, and I'm really proud of that. So
That's all we can ask for.
that's all we can
You know,
ask for.
and this is sort of what I tell people is it's like, you know, I don't even care what brand people choose. I mean, I think that what we're doing at CV Science is excellent in terms of preparing the formula in a clean and responsible manner. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
if somebody's feeling better,
Yep.
go with that. I
Yes.
just want people to feel better.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate it. And thank you for tuning in, and many blessings to all of you.
Take care.
Oh, and subscribe. Thank you for subscribing to our channel.